All right. Shalom.
Shalom.
We want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and our elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing and many salutations to you elect Akim across the four winds of this earth. Kicking this word in sincerity and kicking this word in truth. Okay, we're coming at you all with another lesson. Usually we're out at camp, but due to the circumstances with these different policies that this devil Esau is putting down, we have to link up. What we're doing right now is just linking up with brothers who kind of stay close and just doing these live shows. And best believe, I believe so at least, that the time of the famine of the word is approaching shortly. Okay, again, going into the policies that Esau's doing. He doesn't want multiple people gathering outside or anywhere no more. Then there's just a bunch of weird random events that's just happening that's trying to hinder the work of the Lord coming out. You know, but at the end of the day, as we're here and we're still able to preach the word and do it, the Spirit has us just doing these shows together. And if something changes in the Spirit, then it is what it is. If we're able to go back out on the highways, that's beautiful, you know. But it's going to be more so days approaching just within the future, not even just with the coronavirus, but just as the plagues continue to set, the Lord's not going to have his men out there on the highways no more, because the scriptures do say that he is going to send a famine of the word. Okay, he says, I shall cause the tongue to cleave to the roof of your mouth. Okay, and we're entering into that time. So right now, when we're going to go into the day through the Spirit, is going to make sure that we are watching as well as praying. Okay, you got that precept pulled up?
Come on. It's Matthew chapter 26.
You started with
22. 22? Mm-hmm. Okay, so it says, watch in verse 41, watch and pray that you enter not into temptation. Or you said 22?
Mm-hmm.
All right, come on. Matthew 26 and 22. And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? And
I'm sorry. You were right.
Okay. Okay, verse 41. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak.
Yeah, now when you go into this account here, this is when Yahushua was in the Garden of Gethsemane. And the thing about it is Yahushua knew that his hour was approaching. Okay, when you read, matter of fact, can you read up a few verses, I believe. What verse did you just read?
That was 41.
Okay, can you read like verse, what does 37 say? 37 to 38.
It said, verse 37, and he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy.
Sorrowful and very heavy. All right, and that heaviness he felt was that weight he had felt in his chest. Mm-hmm. He had felt anxiety. Because the thing about it is, Yahushua, who is the Messiah, who was a prophet, knew what was going to befall upon him.
Right.
And he even told his disciples on certain occasions, you know, the Son of Man is going to be taken up and dead for 3 days and resurrect. And there was times he would say that to those men, but they didn't have proper understanding on what he was talking about. Even Yahushua knew. He even knew that he was going to have to die and be killed by the Jews. Right. But as that time was approaching, he got more sorrowful and very heavy because he knew it, but he didn't go through that particular experience in the flesh yet. Mm-hmm. You know, so look at yourself in these situations. We know the future of America. We know that there's going to be martyrs. We know that it's going to be a little more difficult in the flesh. Okay, just as Yahushua knew these different things, but as we approach this hour, you feel that weight on your chest. Okay, Yahushua said he was very sorrowful, and he poured into the three men that he was closest to. You know?
That's right. Then saith he, verse 38, then saith he unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here, and watch with me. And he went a little further, and fell on his face, and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. And he cometh unto the disciples, and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, what, could ye not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak.
Yeah, man, this flesh is very horrible. Of course, in the spirit, you want to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. All right, best believe those men did want to stay up and watch with Yahushua. But the Spirit had him fall asleep because you remember, at the end of the day, everything that taken place was the Most High's will.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even though Yahushua wanted them to be up and sleep, Yahushua later understood that that was the will of his Father. Because as he had did that, he prayed that that couple be taken away from him. You know what I'm saying? He prayed that the Lord would show him, but there was nothing that had happened after he prayed. You know, so later on, as he came back and continued to find those men asleep, he realized and he understood that he said, sleep on pretty much. You know, now the thing about it is, and the significance behind that, it wasn't those men's time. Okay? It wasn't their time. It was Yahushua's time, and Yahushua had to be by himself to experience that first. Now we're approaching that time where we have to be up. We have to be willing to watch as well as pray. There was a lesson, there was a street teaching that the apostles did years ago. One of the brothers had reposted it on his chat. Salaki brother, I got the name page. But it was, it looked like back when they first started teaching on YouTube. And something the Apostle Kabar said, they all had black, you know, a little bit of grays in their hair, very young. With the Apostle Kabar, he was on fire. He was like, hey, you read that? It says, watch as well as pray. Watch as well as pray. And, you know, the thing about it is, in order to be watching, that's something that we're supposed to be doing. You know, when a brother sends an article on the chat, you might not see every article, but it would behoove you to watch it because things are taking place on the planet Earth that could very well change our lives. You know, you got any points or anything?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yo, just like the brother saying, man, we got to continuously pay attention to what's going on. You always want to keep your ear unto the ground, man. You know? Because the scripture said that the day of the Lord shall come as a thief in the night. And when the thief comes, he's not coming when you up at 7 p.m. They're coming in the wee hours of the night when everyone's asleep.
That's right. That's right.
You know, out about on a night on the town. You know what I mean? That's when the thief comes in when you least suspect. And so we, like the brother said, we're commanded to watch at all times, man. You got to keep your ear to the ground and pay attention. You know, our brothers send articles out. You know, you may see a news feed. You know, click on it. You ain't got to go into the whole thing, but at least get the gist of what it's talking about. You know, to always be aware at all times, man. That's what we're here for. We're the watchmen. You know, the Lord set us up to feed the elect, man. So yeah, if you're a teacher and you're a watchman for the people, you know, you can't be lean up against the wall and clean your nails or whatever, man. You gotta be standing upon your post at all times, man. You know.
Yeah, beautiful point, brother. Beautiful point, man. I got a precept. Okay, if I can get it really quick. Goes into Isaiah the 30th chapter. That I shall see thy teachers. I believe this in verse
30 and 22. Something like this. 30 and 20.
Yep, this is it right here. This is Isaiah chapter 30, verse 20. And it reads, and though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner any more, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers, and thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, this is the way, walk ye in it, when ye turn to the right hand and when ye turn to the left hand. So once you hear this word and get rooted in this word, all right, because that goes in hearing the word from your teachers. Hey, it's written in Romans, the 10th chapter, the 17th verse. It says, faith coming by hearing, hearing coming by the word of the Most High. So ultimately, we've received the gift of faith through being able to hear this word. But it goes into as you hear that word behind you and you perceive it, you look to the right and you look to the left. And that goes into being circumspect. We did a lesson on that last week, keeping your head on the swivel. All right, and we need to keep our heads on the swivel now more than ever. You know, and that's part of watching. Okay, when you watch something, you ain't like a horse with blinders on. You know what I'm saying? You got to be circumspect. That's part of watching. Having those eyes behind your head. Knowing what's taking place behind you. Knowing what's taking place in front of you. And really, ultimately, when you look at it, we really have a huge advantage right now because we aren't by ourselves.
Right.
You know, we still have the opportunity to hear these particular things that's taking place. Brothers send articles on the chat. Brothers got something to say on the chat. You do your shows. You do your part. You do your articles. You do your lessons and such. Okay, we still have the amenities, okay, to be able to allow us to watch and watch. You know what I'm saying? And that's a beautiful thing. Okay? So we really shouldn't be slacking on our watch when we still have all the resources that the Heavenly Father has allowed us to be able to have. You know, we still shouldn't slack, and we have these amenities right now.
That's right.
You know, so really we should use it to the best of our ability right now because we're at the evil day. We know we're at the end. We ain't going to have a cell phone too long. We ain't gonna have the internet too long. WhatsApp, shit, that shit gonna be gone here soon. You know, you're gonna have to completely rely on the Lord and the conversations that you and brothers might have had, the articles that you might have read to get on by. That's that knowledge and wisdom keeping me stable in those times, that strength of salvation.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right. That's why like I was saying, we need to utilize these tools now. You know, watching, praying, really establishing that foundation in Yahweh Shem Shai. That way, once it does happen, like the brother said, that at that time you just got to fully rely on the Spirit and what you've been taught. You know, that's why Scripture said, continue 1,000 things that have been taught, but it's sure.
That's right.
That's right. In 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter. So that way, that wisdom and knowledge shall keep you stable. You won't bug the hell out like the rest of these people.
That's right.
Because no, they've been practicing and doing things in the flesh. So when the time comes, that's the only thing that they're gonna know. That's gonna be their second nature. You know, that's their muscle memory. It's gonna be fleshly and carnal desires and wants and thoughts. Meanwhile, us, we're supposed to be having muscle memory in the spirit. You know, you're supposed to have spiritual muscle memory, because that time the things gonna be coming. When the enemy come in like a flood, it's not gonna be time to think about it. You know, it's time to counsel about it sometimes. You know, you just gonna have to move in the spirit.
That's right. That's
right.
right.
And so you're gonna already have to be practicing in that spiritual mindset. You know.
That's right. Beautiful.
Did you have? I want to get that occupy.com. I know it's in Luke, but I can't remember exactly where it is. But
I don't remember right off the head. I would use my phone. Oh, actually, when I record with my phone, that's right. So we can look it up.
Kind of.
1 sec, brothers.
Yeah, man. Like brother said, man, hey, just gotta continue to watch, and you know, continue to stay within the will of Yahweh Shem Shai. You know, that's what's gonna get us through.
That's right.
I know his brother had that as Zephaniah, which will get that as well. He's because the Lord's coming back, man. He's gonna punish the men that were settled upon their leaves, that are getting last days ago. The Lord didn't get last days in the Garden of Gethsemane. Okay, he during the time of his ministry, he never slacked off up until the time of his hour of temptation. And when he asked the Heavenly Father to take that cup away, and he didn't get a reply, hey, he committed himself unto him that judged righteously. When you're reading the 1 Peter, the 2nd chapter, you know, he said, nevertheless, not my will, but thy will, but thy will. You know,
that's right.
But he watched, and he told his men to watch as well.
Yep.
You know,
I got that right here for you.
Okay.
This is Luke chapter 19, start at verse 12. He said, therefore, a certain nobleman went to a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come.
Right, and that's the beginning of the parable, you know, of the talents, you know. And when you occupy, you're working, you know, because what's another word for occupy? Occupation. What's your occupation? This is our main occupation right here. Now, we obviously have jobs, because Scripture says money is defense. And, you know, the Scriptures also say if you don't work, you don't eat. So that's double fold. Okay, you can't no grown man take care of no other grown man. You know, you have to be able to contribute in some form or fashion, you know, because you have the time, you know. But this is our main occupation right here. This is what we're called to do, okay? We're called to do the work of the Heavenly Father, man.
That's right.
You know, the same thing that Yahweh Shai said.
That's right.
My meat is to do the will of him that sent me. So this is what we're supposed to do, man. He set up watchmen, man, okay, to watch over the flock. You know, a shepherd doesn't be over there in the hammock, man, because if you over there in the hammock not paying attention, hey, wolves are going to come and scatter the flock, man, other predators. And so we have to continuously watch, because these other predators are who? These wolves are these other guys teaching wayward doctrines, man. Okay, that are going off on certain things. So you have to make sure we know we stay over the flock, watching, and provide the right information at all times to keep the congregation fed. You know, you can't get lax on that. You know, you gotta continue to pay attention for the flock, but also for yourself. Okay, that's how you work out your own salvation. You know, watching and being, you know, and praying as well.
That's right. That's right. I got that word occupy here in the Greek, and I got a precept too.
Okay.
This is the word occupy in the Greek. I'm gonna just have him say it.
Strong's G 4231. Pragmatuomai. Pragmatuomai.
I wasn't even gonna try. Pragmatuomai. It says to be occupied in anything. To carry on a business, it says to carry on a business of a banker or a trader. But the second one is really what stands out, because this is a family business what we're part of right now. All right, contrary to popular belief, this is a business, man. All right, and in order for a business to be successful, it has to be duplicated to all the branches that are out there. And we represent those branches of this business right here, man. All right, like for example, Ariella always goes into this. You don't go to one particular Chick-fil-A and expect different service than another Chick-fil-A.
Right.
Okay, and what's Chick-fil-A known for? Having outstanding service.
Yeah.
Okay, they go out their way to make sure that you're taken care of.
Right.
And you best believe if you go to another Chick-fil-A, you want to make sure that they do the same exact thing, because if it's a particular Chick-fil-A that's slack, that'll get all the way to the head branch. Okay, and you could receive that issue from that, man. But that's just an example of them occupying, taking care of that business. And I'm using that cardinal example to how we need to make sure that we're carrying ourselves spiritually, man. Because this is a business that we're part of right now, believe it or not. Okay, and we represent those image. We represent the image of Yahweh Shai. Every business that Yahweh Shai has, every camp that's out here, we represent that image of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And there's a certain way that we have to conduct ourselves and conduct the business in order for it to be fruitful, which is going to be fruitful regardless because it's of the Heavenly Father. But we need to make sure that we're doing the things we need to be doing in the spirit for it to be fruitful and to remain. And again, a part of that is to occupy, okay, to be on that watch. I got that quick precept real quick.
Actually, can I get this before you, Bible?
Yeah, come on.
Right to the definition you wrote for
Come
me. 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 1. Let a man so account of us as of the ministers of Hamashiach and stewards of the mysteries of the Most High.
And when you go into a steward is pretty much a manager. Okay? And every single last one of us represent those stewards. We're going to make sure that we're managing the house to the way it's supposed to. We're priests, right? When you go into the ancient priesthood, those different priests and those Levites had to make sure that the tabernacle back around the time of Moses, but even later on when the temple was built, they had to make sure that was taken care of, man.
They managed the duties.
That's right. And that was their job too. Like they didn't have the same portion as everybody else. They didn't have the same portion as the rest of the Israelites. Okay, their portion was to make sure the house was taken care of.
That's right.
Now we know that this is a spiritual house right now. We represent a spiritual temple. So we need to make sure that this temple is taken care of with us being those priests under the order of Melchizedek. Right. You know, and part of that's occupying, man, watching, keeping the head on the swivel. What's out of place, fix it. You know?
That's right. And I have one more verse for you.
Come.
Moreover, it is required in stewards that a man be found faithful. So, hey, when you're faithful, you're committed.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
You're all in, man. You're completely committed to the task at hand, man. And we're, like the brother said, we're ministers and managers over the house, the spiritual house of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And there's different administrations within that house, but you got to make sure that in the spirit you're doing what you're called upon to do and what lot is given unto you, man. And you must remain faithful at it at all times. You know, you can't get slack. Now, are you going to be doing videos 24 hours a day? No. But your main focus is going to be on the will of the Heavenly Father. You know, you're going to be doing other things. You may watch a movie, you know,
right.
You know, all this. I'm not saying that we're in the flesh. We're not 24/7 robots like that. We're not programmed like that yet. That's the blessing that we're going to get in the kingdom. Right. You know, to never go off and never really be focused on anything else. But right now, you're going to do this other things. You know, you're going to do other things. But for the majority of the time, or for the majority, you still even doing those things. You extrapolate spiritual things out of other things that you're doing anyway. Absolutely. You know, but you just got to be spiritual about it. You know, spiritual balance.
Hey, we're going to chill in the kingdom too.
Yeah.
You know, like shit. You know, that's one thing Jake like to do is chill. It's called rest for a reason. But in order to get that ultimate chill, man, you got to put that work in right now.
Yeah, that's the ultimate retirement plan that we're looking for. This is the spiritual 401k. Everyone's talking about 401k now, which is not going to last. The society's going to crash. But you want to store up these riches to build that 401k now, to where when you retire in the kingdom, man, hey, that's a continuous residual payment.
That's right.
Spiritual payment, man. You know, a rulership. You know, that's like you can get that precept what you have.
This is Proverbs chapter 22, verse 29. It says, "Seest thou a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings, and he shall not stand before mean men." When you go to that word "mean" right there, that word goes into being insignificant. But the first part of that verse there says, "See thou a man diligent in his business." Okay, now when you go into this word diligent right here, all right, because then you have diligent in the New Testament and the Old Testament, which they both mean the same thing. All right, but of course, you know, they'll give a little bit of a different definition when you read it in the Greek than in the Hebrew. But when you go into this word diligent right here in Proverbs 22 and 29, that word there, let's see here. The word there is mahayar, okay, or mahar, okay, really is mahar. Okay, and that means like quick or fast. Okay, but it says, see, quick, prompt, skilled, and ready. And what does the scripture say, man? To be apt to teach. That word apt goes into being skillful. You know, so it says when you substitute that word diligent with skilled and ready, it says, seest thou a man skilled or quick, all right, or ready in his business? Okay, and that's what we make sure that's what we want to make sure that we're doing. Okay, and again, in order to be skilled and quick, you got to watch. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord can have something happen like that, and if you didn't look at that article, or if you didn't read that particular verse that goes into this, you ain't gonna know what to answer. And Yahushua even said in the book of Luke, the 21st chapter, the 14th verse, he says you're gonna stand before governors, you're gonna stand before rulers, kings, princes. But he said, don't worry about the words that you're gonna speak, for I'm gonna put a mouth in you, and you're gonna speak these words. And that mouth is gonna ultimately come from the scriptures. You read about particular examples, how men were presented in front of certain people. You got Paul, who was presented in front of noble Felix. You got Yahushua, who was presented in front of Pontius Pilate. Right. All right, now Yahushua didn't speak too much, presented in front of Pontius Pilate, and there's going to be times where that's going to apply with us. Right. Paul had to use subtlety when he spoke to Felix, and had to use his Roman citizenship as an example to get him out of a particular judgment that was going to fall upon him. But if he wasn't well rooted in the scriptures and having understanding, he wouldn't have known how to answer that. Right. Okay, so these are things that we have to practice and be ready for when it comes. Okay? And it says, when you continue in there, he shall stand before kings. Really, when you go right here, it's talking about the different brothers that's around you, man. All right? Because we are considered as those kings and priests, as you read about it in Exodus, the 19th chapter, and Revelation 5. Okay? You read it, and I believe it's in Jeremiah 5, where it says, get ye unto great men, and together ye have broken the yoke and burst the bonds. Okay? So, at the end of the day, we are those kings that it's talking about right here. And those mean men are talking about everybody else. Yeah. Okay? Those that are insignificant. And insignificant in what? This knowledge, this understanding, those that don't matter. Okay? Those creatures that were created to be extras in a movie. Yeah. Right. You know?
You're going to be in the midst of those great men, like the brother said, pursuant to 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter. When 2nd Ezra saw that vision of Yahushua crowning all those men with palms. Yep. Okay, you're going to be amongst that number, man. You know? Receiving that crown, that reward from Yahushua. You know, that's standing in the midst of kings, man. Like the brother said, we're going to be a nation of kings and priests. You know, you're not going to be amongst 2/3 which are insignificant, which are going to be destroyed. Right. You know, those other Israelite dudes or other guys that call themselves Israelites, but aren't teaching the way, not watching the flock properly, that Yahushua is not dealing with. They're mean and insignificant right now, you know? They just don't matter. They have their lot, which is a lot of what? Scoffers and teaching other doctrines, man. You know, they have a lot of those wicked scribes and Pharisees at the end of the day.
That's right.
You know, that's why Scripture says give diligence to make your call and election sure. You know, it's a precept of that. You know, you got to be diligent in this thing, man. You know, and we're speaking to ourselves first and foremost. So
that's right.
Don't get it twisted like we not out here on some high horse. That's why we're recording and putting up these shows, man. You know, Lord willing that we can continue to Most High keeps gas and fuel in our tanks. You know, that's the Elder Ariel's been pushing a lot lately the past year or two. You know, the Most High ain't gonna put no fuel in a parked car. You know, so you gotta keep pushing and keep driving, man. You know, that way he'll continue to fuel you with the Spirit, bro. You know,
that's right, bro.
I had
Zephaniah. Okay, come. Yeah, we can get that.
Okay, Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 12. And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their leaves.
And how is he searching Jerusalem? Because really Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. That's why he said he will punish the men that are settled on their leaves. Okay, but though he uses his angels to search out those different things. All these chariots in the sky, okay, yeah, that's a sign of our salvation, but also too, those are the angels that are searching and checking on who's doing what they're supposed to be doing. Right. Ezekiel 9:4 says, where he commands the angels. When you read Ezekiel 9:4, it's really a particular angel that he given the charge to mark the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. When you read it in Ezekiel the 9th chapter, it says there was an angel dressed in white with an inkhorn. And that same angel had been given the charge in that verse to also smite old and young, rich and poor, those that don't have that mark of salvation that thou art.
Right.
Okay, now am I saying that same particular angel is given that charge today? Who knows? Maybe so. Maybe that's that particular angel's job. But we do know pretty much is that the Lord's eyes are his angels.
Right.
And he has those men, he has those angels watching the men who are doing the work. And he also has those angels watching those that are settled back and slacking. Okay, we were talking about the other camp just a minute ago. You got General Yohana, right? All right, we see that he's obviously bugged out. But is he really on the highways like that doing the work? Absolutely not. A lot of these guys that are out here that are in higher seats in these other camps, you don't find them on the highways like that. They'll tell you that you don't need to go on the highways. Okay, they'll tell you don't take the mark. They'll tell you the mark of the beast ain't the chip. They'll say it's something else when clearly prophecy is clearly screaming otherwise. Okay, but the Lord is going to get men like that. Okay, and none of us are exempt neither. Okay, that's why we need to make sure that we give diligence to make our calling and our election sure, because just as the Lord can take those guys out, he can take any of us out, because we don't want to be put in a place of hypocrites, man. Okay, we want to make sure that we're executing everything that we're talking about to the best of our ability. Okay, right here in Zephaniah 1.
Here's a result from the web.
Oh boy. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. But when you read that there in Zephaniah, the 1st chapter, man, it says he will search Jerusalem with candles. That means shining a light on you. And we talked about it on the highways a few weeks back, man. There are certain lights that can see some darkness, man. Yeah. Like you have a black light, for example. That black light, you shine a black light up into anything, man, and then you can see all types of crazy stuff that you wouldn't even see with the normal light.
Yeah, your body fluids and stuff like that.
That's right, and all of that, man. And the scriptures say the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun.
Right.
So we understand the eyes of the Lord are searching these different things out with candles, man. How bright can that light be?
That's right.
How much can be revealed with that light that's being revealed unto the inhabitants of Jerusalem? Right. Talking about us.
Right, because the scripture said he searched the hearts. When you're reading Proverbs. So
that's right.
Your mind. So the Most High, it ain't just looking at your words and outward appearance like other men. The Most High sees your intent, your spirit, because he made us.
That's right.
He sees all that, man.
Hey, and we partially have that lot too. Because you read it in Hebrews, the 4th chapter, it says the word of the Lord is quick and powerful, sharper than any two-edged sword, even piercing the things that are asunder, man, and the intents of the heart. We've been given that charge to be able to see that. We've been given charge to see, excuse my French, who's full of shit and who's sincere. You can point out somebody full of shit from a mile away, damn near. Okay? We can look at these other guys and people will jump on the comment boards and be like, you guys shouldn't be saying that. You don't know that. Like hell we don't. We see it. But the reason why they get mad and upset, because they don't have that vision to be able to see that, man. We've been given that insight to see that. Part of the eyes of the Lord are the angels, of course, but that also applies with us too.
That's right. I can bring this up.
Yeah, come on, bro.
Like the brother said, that's right, man. The Most High, that's why Paul speaks about giving praise to the Heavenly Father for revealing mysteries unto us. So that's a part of the mystery, to be able to discern spiritually.
Watchmen.
You'll be a watchman, because the scripture says, try the spirit by the spirit when you're reading 1 John the 4th chapter. So we've been given that understanding to use the sword properly.
That's right.
So I'm going to bring this out real quick. Like the brother said, we can see a man a mile away from him sometimes, in the spirit. Sirach 19:29, a man may be known by his look, and one that hath understanding by his countenance when thou meetest him.
That's right. So you can tell somebody about by their look, man. A lot of times people be like, especially on the highways, we've all heard this, man, you don't know me, man. You said it about me, you don't even know me. And our response is always like, bro, we don't gotta know you, bro. We see this shit. And it's true, because the Lord had blessed us and given us that spiritual eyesight to be able to see these things, man. Right. Of course, if he granted us with a lot of a watchman, okay, he blessed us with having eyes to be able to see. The Lord ain't going to give you the job of a watchman and you don't have eyes to see. It doesn't work. The Lord has to bless you with both of them. If he gave you this job, he has to bless you with the particular tools so you can be able to occupy and perform that task, perform those duties. Right. And we've received that through the Spirit, of course. I'm not saying it to brag or boast, but it's true.
That's right. It just is what it is. And like brother said, a guy like, you don't know me. And that's why they say that. That's why they're on the defense. They hit dog holler. You know, we stepped on a toe, you know, because we hit him right on the head, you know, when people get offended like that. That's why people be bugging out demons, and they get to scoffing and make a whole scene, you know. This is the last verse, verse 30. A man's attire and excessive laughter and gait show what he is. You know, and so spiritually, when you get into that word, you'll understand that, man. And that way you can able to navigate and see spirits better, man.
That's right.
You can see a guy come up and just a look on his face, you like, oh, this guy here, he's simple, he's just straight folly. He got a folly demon on him, man. Simple as hell, man. You can tell when Jake walk up. Or you can tell when people have some sort of a serious spirit about them. By their gait and how they carry themselves in their countenance, man. You know?
That's right.
So that's why they were all wearing damn shades, man. Because they say the eyes are went up to the soul, man. You can see God's spirit in their eyes, you know. But they always got their eyes covered up, man. Why is that? You gotta ask yourself that, man.
That's right.
You know, because a lot of guys be found out to be that full of SHRT, man. You know.
Yeah, the Apostle Gabar always goes into that. He like, man, you see them demons jumping around in their eyes, man.
Dancing around and shit.
Yeah, they talking. One eye's pointed this way, the other one's pointed this way, rolling around there. I got something real quick. I quoted it earlier, but I do want to bring it out.
Come on.
You know, but this is the book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 12. Really, I'm going to start at verse 11 because we're going into occupying. It says, let us labor, therefore, to enter into that rest. Because we was talking about that earlier. All right, before, like, you know, when the brother brought up the point of this being the spiritual 401k plan, all right, you gotta work, you gotta labor, you gotta put those spiritual coins in and allow that to add up. And then when we get into the kingdom, of course, we're gonna have particular duties as well, being the future rulers. Okay, but it ain't gonna be nothing like right now. We ain't gonna be stressing. We're gonna enjoy doing what we're doing, man. Well, we enjoy doing what we're doing right now, of course, but I'm talking about in the world. You don't enjoy going up and going to work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. You don't enjoy going to work. Sometimes you dread it, like, shit. Yeah. But in the kingdom, we're going to have particular duties that we got to do, but we're going to enjoy doing it, man.
That's right. Because if I would say this real quick, to continue, that, and we don't say it to say that we're lazy. Brothers ain't lazy.
Right.
No, brothers hate being a damn slave.
That's what it is.
You know what I mean? It's hate being a slave to a slave labor. The shit's unfair. It's wicked as hell. It's unrighteous.
Right.
So brothers don't mind rolling up their sleeves and getting to work. You know what I mean? So don't get that twisted. You know, brothers get out there and get it. But the mindset of being a damn slave is what's annoying.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So just want to clarify that because, you know, scholars will take that. Oh, these guys are lazy. They don't
Simple
want to
as
work. Like, bro, come on.
We got jobs, bro.
Yeah.
We're recording on phones that we pay bills for.
Yeah. Jake make money. Jake go to work. Jake, I know, brothers I know have been a job over 10, 12, 15 years, man. You know, Jake been working.
Some of us have better jobs than y'all.
Exactly. And go faithfully, so that's not the case. Jake being a slave.
That's right.
You know, so I just want to throw that out there.
Come. This is Hebrews chapter 4, verse 11. It says, let us labor to enter into that rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief.
That word least means for fear that. So that you don't fall into the same example of unbelief, man.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, man. So really, in order to stay in this thing, man, you got to continue to produce. Okay? Because when you lack production, really, those demons can enter into you, man, and you can lose that unbelief, or you can gain unbelief and lose that faith.
That's right.
You know, you can lose that gift that was sent from the Most High due to your lack of unproductivity or your lack of productivity. Right. So, like via example, if you go to work and your manager know that you BSing, you know, you kind of lose. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put it like this: when you go to a job and your head ain't all the way there in the job, you know what I'm saying? Your production levels go down. You know, and then, you know, you lose faith in that job to the point you're like, man, I'm tired of this stuff, man. Yeah. You know, we've had jobs like that before where it's like, you know, in the past where it's like, man, you don't want to be there no more and you're ready to go to another job and your productivity might go down. You know what I'm saying? Now, you don't want that to happen in the spirit, because if you lack productivity, if you start having those thoughts in your mind like, yeah, man, I'm just tired of doing this, that's where that unbelief kicks in, man. The Lord will strip that gift away from you.
Right, you get fired because you start making mistakes. Depending on what job you in, you know what I mean. It could be an industrial accident, and you could driving a forklift, and you're not used like whatever. You know, you can really hurt somebody. And the same thing here, you can get somebody killed. You can get a brother killed not paying attention, man.
That's right, bro.
Out and about being that's the days in the world, because the Most High is out judging, man. Your negligence can get someone else hurt, man, and it may not even be you.
That's right.
You know, you can really consider that, man. You know, when you out and about, when you in this walk of ours, You know, and then what? You ever get fired, the Most High takes that spirit off of you, man. To where he takes that hedge of protection and leaves you to your own devices, man.
That's right.
And then it's free fall for demons. You know, as the scripture say, the Lord will get a parable about a man's mind being swept and garnished, and then the 7 demons come. Another demon comes back because they have nowhere else to go, and he comes back with 7 stronger demons. Hey, man, that could be you if you're not paying attention. Because it's right. Because it's a saying that Jake say in the world, idle mind is the devil's playground. You know, so if you're being idle, hey, the Most High, like I said earlier, the Most High is like a put fuel in a parked car. You know. So you're not doing anything, hey, the Most High won't continue to protect you, won't continue to deal. He'll take that gift away, as a brother mentioned, and he'll leave you to your own devices and demons after that, you know?
This is Hebrews 4:12. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit and of joints and marrow, and is a discerner of thoughts and intents of the heart. Okay, so that just goes into having that being circumspect, that blessing or that gift the Lord gives us to be circumspect. Okay, we can see the intentions of these people. We can see the inside. Like, for example, a doctor that's on a surgical table, you cut up in there, and certain times you got to cut in something to really see the true source of the problem. All right, the Lord has given us that ability to be able to do that with our eyes, with our vision, being those watchmen. Okay, we can see the thoughts and the intent. The brother brought up the beautiful precept there in Sirach 19, right? Going into, you can tell a man by his gait, by his laughter. All right, to the point where you can say, you can judge what type of person this man is just by his self-conduct, man.
That's right.
And that goes into that spirit of the Lord, word of the Lord being within us to be able to discern these things. All right, really, when you go on to discern, ultimately it just means to see or to pay attention to or to have vision on. Okay, and we have that being those watchmen.
That's right.
Okay, and as we have discern of the thoughts, that even goes into certain news articles that we have. We can look at a lot of these people. Look at the nigga might lying through his teeth.
Right.
Look at Donald Trump talking about this nigga lying, man. You know, that's why the Lord ain't gonna come like a thief in the night to his elect. We're not ignorant to Satan's devices because we've been watchmen. Okay, we've been given this vision, this insight to see these things, and we know what's gonna fall in the future anyway, man. Okay, but if you ain't continuing to watch and pray, as we read that earlier in Matthew 26th chapter, that gift can be taken away from you, man. Yahushua said that, bro. How much more important does it have to be when Yahushua said it? He said, watch and pray. Yahushua was the ultimate watchman. Okay? And watching, you have to still pray as well. Because you pray that you don't enter into the temptation that you see is going to come. Okay? You know that they're going to push the mark of the beast. You pray that you don't get taken by that. You know these people aren't going to be able to eat. You pray that you are going to be able to eat. Okay? We know the stuff that's going to come to pass, so why not pray that you don't get taken in those devices, man? Okay? But if you ain't watching, okay, you just praying to the Lord for, of course it's important to pray, but we need to pray to the Lord that we don't enter into the temptation and the things that's getting ready to come.
Right. The temptation, being protected, you know, of all these things, man. Especially the time we're in.
That's right.
Especially going out now. Hey, you know, the best you're good to remember, man, pray that your Most High, hey, like the brother said, Mahar, is when we say brothers on their journeys, Yahweh Mahar, Godspeed, you know, pray the Most High will give you a successful journey in traveling grace, you know, to and from your destination, man. You know, but I'm going to finish this in Zephaniah.
Come.
Back in Zephaniah chapter 1. What were you finished with that, Hebrews 1:12?
That was it.
Okay. I'm sorry, I was looking at verse 12. And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their leaves.
When you go into that word leaves right there in the Hebrew, that word is shamar. And it means watch. Okay, settled when they watch. All right, and that also goes into, I believe, a pouch of wine. You know what I'm saying? Maybe another lesson another day. The Apostle Rama did a lesson a few years ago going into that. You know, but it's definitely a science behind the leaves because really that goes into servitude, serving. You know what I'm saying? And if you pouring that wine and it continues to overflow, you know what I'm saying? You ain't doing your job as that waiter.
That's right.
Or that server. You know what I'm saying? And you settled on your leaves. You settled on your watch. Okay? And that's one thing you don't want to be is settled on your watch, man. Because he says he will punish those men that are settled on their watch. And that punishment is very severe, man. Because the Lord is getting ready to bring wrath. Okay, and the wrath of the Heavenly Father. What punishment do you want from that, man? Hey, one of the brothers' wives had a vision, and she had explained it, And she seen death and all of that, man. And she was weeping and wailing by the judgment that she seen the Heavenly Father bring. And that was a vision that the Lord had sent that brother's wife, man.
That's right. That's why you can tell, because the brother Jamaica, so that she had a heavy accent, so couldn't really tell exactly what she was saying, but you could hear the distress, fear, and pain in her voice, that she was there. Like the prophets, and specifically the prophet Daniel, he got sick to his stomach for the vision. That's how she was. Like, you can tell she was there. She could see the dead body. She could smell the death air. Whatever the vision that she had, you could tell she was in that particular vision.
That's right.
And all the senses was activated. It was, man, I'm talking about, she gasped for breath, she would cough for crying, bro, hysterical, you know, for minutes. Like, you can tell, man, you know, it wasn't no act, you know, and you don't want to be a part of it. That lets you know that, hey, what the Most High said the hell he's about to bring is about to be extremely severe, like nothing we've ever seen before, man. And we're going to be there. Your adrenaline's going to be pumping, your heart will be pounding, but you're going to have to remain faithful and focused, man. And the only way to do that, hey, it's what? Continue to watch and pray, as we're going into.
That's it.
That way the Most High will keep you stable, you know, because all we have about Shemashai, it's not about works, man. You know, we have to do the things to please him so that he'll continue to deal with us and protect us in that day.
That's right,
in the spirit of godless, you know.
That's right, bro. Hey, we know it's coming, but we ain't been there yet, man.
Right.
You know, Yahushua knew his hour was coming, but he wasn't there yet.
That's right.
That's why he was in such a heavy spirit right before his hour had approached, man.
That build up.
Yeah, that build up. You know, so as Yahushua was heavy in the spirit of watching and praying, before that had taken place, of course, we got to follow the same way in the path that Yahushua had laid out for us. Now it's time for us to experience that.
Right.
We know it. We're passionate about it, even when we preach it on the highways. Okay? We visualize it and we see it by way of what the scriptures say. But the scriptures do say we know in part and we prophesy in part.
Right.
Okay? Now we use that scripture as pertaining to the kingdom that's to come, but also to the vision that's set for an appointed time. The end shall speak. Now we're getting ready to speak. We know it. All right? But now we're getting ready to really experience this. You know, and that's why the fear of the Lord should be in us more than ever right now, man. Right. And that fear should move us to watch more, to pray more, to study more, to link up with the bros that you can link up with more, to make sure that spiritual conversation is in your mouth a lot. That way, though, that book will be opened up.
Right.
You know, I don't want to say, you know, we joking, we say, this dude got a righteous demon on him. We joke. But having the given angel on you, I don't want to say demon, but making sure that we're given like a mug right now, man. Okay? Making sure that we're doing all that we can do to be covered when the Lord comes and brings his wrath, man.
Yeah. CYA, cover your ass.
Cover your ass.
They take that job all the time. CYA. Hey, you got to do that spiritually now. It's more so than now. And ever, like the brother said, you know, building up, you know, just in spiritual conversation all the time, you know. That covers you in that book of remembrance, but that's also that's helpful for another brother that may be going through a trying time right now mentally. That's right. You know.
Yeah. While we have the opportunity right now, we just need to make sure that we're taking advantage of it, because you don't want to be like those 5 foolish virgins. You don't want to be when you don't want to be that guy that's incognito. As soon as YouTube cut off, WhatsApp cut off, all these different avenues cut off, you running around trying to, you know what I'm saying, trying to find a brother, and it's that and the third. Oh man, hey, what's going on? I'm Shalom. You know, you don't want to be that, man, because the Lord considers that being a foolish virgin. And that foolish virgin is going to be a partaker within that second death that's to come. Okay? And we don't want to be in that category, man. We want to make sure that we're doing what we can do right now as the time is at hand, man. As the evil day ain't really just here yet.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right. Back in Zephaniah, that's saying in their heart, the Lord, Yahushua, will not do good, neither will he do evil.
And a lot of that is action-wise, man. All right? Your actions can prove that. You know, when I say prove that, your actions can show that in your mind, the Lord ain't going to do nothing. You continue to make the same mistakes. You continue to just live on and just live your life. Like the Lord ain't going to judge you or anything. That's why he's going to come like a thief as well, man. Because that's a mindset that the Most High ain't going to do good, but he ain't going to do evil neither. He's going to continue to allow just day by day go, which you continue to do the same bullshit that you did yesterday.
That's right.
And again, it goes into being settled on your watch. All right? So if you allow things to just go by, if you ain't producing, whatever lot that the Lord has given you, all right, if you're not exercising that lot that the Lord had given you, because earlier we almost went into that, the parable of the talents, you know, but if you've been given a particular lot that the Lord had given you, and you're not exercising that office or that lot, the Lord can punish you for that, man. All right, because with you not exercising that lot, you're putting off the Lord. Okay, that's why the scriptures say to put not off the Lord day by day, and that's what you're doing, being set up on your leads. Okay,
that's right. That's right. Now, this for you, since we mentioned that, Ezekiel 33, start verse 1. Again, the word of Yahweh by Shem Yahshua came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head.
Yeah, because the Lord has us out here telling these people, okay, and these jakes out here ain't accepting us as being the prophets.
Not at all.
You know, you got a few brothers on the other side that believe, and it's beautiful. And not even just in this camp, but all over the place. You have believers that are out there, man. But it's more so few than many. Okay? But these people, how it's supposed to be, they're supposed to hear the word and hearken unto that prophet. Because they received that he is a messenger from the Most High, man. Okay, you remember around the time of Samuel when David was getting ready to be anointed king, but Saul was the Lord had taken the spirit away from Saul. All right, and the Lord commanded Samuel to go into the land of Bethlehem and find a new king. So as Samuel had went over to Bethlehem, you had those different people and those elders of the city that stood in fear because Samuel had came. And they asked Samuel, what hast thou come for? Hast thou come to give news of good or give evil? Right. You know, and that goes to show you that they accepted back then. They actually accepted Samuel to be a prophet. Okay, but now you have Jake today, and even back then in the ancient world too, all right, that despised and rejected the prophets. And they didn't take that man as being a watchman. And they died and they were killed off with no remedy, man, because they misused the prophets. Okay, and it's just like that today. We're out there on the highways. We're out here doing our shows, preaching. Jake walked by. They scoff. They threaten us and such. Okay? That way, when that sword comes, we're telling you a sword coming. We're telling you famine's coming. When you get taken by it, whose fault is that? It's your fault, nigga.
That's right.
Excuse the French, but it's your fault because you didn't want to adhere to the words that was coming out of the Bible. They take the words that we're displaying as being very hateful, being very mean and rude, when the scriptures clearly say that this roll is full of lamentation, mourning, and woe. And we're expressing the judgment that's getting ready to come. But these people have lived their lives in a matrix under this illusion that God is love and he loves just everybody, which the scriptures do say he's love, but that's not the only attribute that the Most High has.
Right.
But that's that BS that the Christian church has pumped into you, man. Yeah. That's that lie that you've lived all your life. And when the truth comes out, you don't want to hear it. And when judgment comes, you deserve it.
Right. They think that the Lord is this fuzzy, warm, euphoric feeling at all times, like you on cocaine or something. You just out there, no, man.
Right.
No, man. God in the Bible, he drowned everything but 8 souls.
Man, right.
You know, he took down nations. He rained down fire on 2 different nations.
That's right. That's right.
On the Egyptians as a plague, and then he completely burned Sodom and Gomorrah with 3 other cities. Now,
that's right.
Remember, there was 5 cities actually, but Sodom and Gomorrah was the main 2 cities.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You know, he burned them to a crisp, man. You know, like he did those things, man. The scripture say a false balance is abomination to Heavenly Father. So that's not balance, man. If he's just all love,
right? How
are we made in this image and we have all these emotions and different feelings, but he's all love,
right?
That doesn't make any sense, man. That shows how the brother said these people in this matrix, you know, and in this dream world created by the devil, man. You know, bug the hell out, and that's why they're going to be destroyed.
That's right, brother.
Because the watchmen are outborn. We're out there when we read down, we're getting the blood off our hands, man.
Yep.
You know, and you got to make sure you get the blood off your hands continuously, so you don't be punished on your leads. You know.
That's right.
But continuing on, verse 5, he heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning. His blood shall be upon him, but he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul.
He that taketh the warning shall deliver his soul, man. Hey, you believers that are out there that are listening, man, hearing this word, this brings salvation unto you. Because what do you receive? You receive the formula to receive salvation, man. All right. And the first part of that formula comes with faith. You receive faith. Again, faith coming by hearing, hearing coming by the word of the Most High. Okay. And how does that hearing come by the word? You have those teachers that are sent out there, those watchmen that are sent out there displaying this message unto you, man.
That's right.
And that's going to save your soul.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right, man. And that's also, that applies to us.
Yep.
Because we're watching unto each other. You know, the scripture says, thou shalt suffer thy brother's sin. Loosely paraphrase when you read Leviticus. You know, so we're watching unto each other. We rebuke each other, man. We don't let each other slide by. We watch over each other as well. To make sure on point. We take heed to each other's lessons. You know, we take heed to the information that each other brings out. You know, that way we take heed and we're still in line as a watchman as well, and we deliver ourselves. You know, you don't want to be profitable unto the congregation, but you're unprofitable unto yourself. Because the Sirach speaks about that, a man that's profitable unto those that listen to him in his teaching, but he's unprofitable to his own soul. That's a lot of guys that have fell out. You know, a lot of people learn a lot of things from certain particular guys that fell out, got kicked out, and been built up. But those guys are no longer here. You know, particularly a couple guys in our camp, I've learned from a lot. Knowledge-wise, as a man, responsible-wise, but they're not here anymore. But throughout Yahweh Shemi Shah, I'm still here, and the Lord will not continue to remain. You know, but those guys were unprofitable to their own selves because of pride or whatever it was. You know,
I got a quick precept.
Kind of.
Proverbs 27:23. Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herds. Meaning watching one another, because we represent a flock. Hey, Yahushua calls us a little flock when you read it in where is that, Matthew 12?
I believe it's Luke.
Luke 12? Okay.
12.
Kind of. But he considers us a flock. Okay, so we're supposed to know the state of each other. Again, like the priest said, that's part of that being that watchman. Okay, and if a brother is explaining something that he might see about you, all right, and not even just him, but usually if it's multiple witnesses that see the same thing, then it's addressed to that brother.
That's right.
And if you don't see that and don't receive that, you know, then that could lead you into your destruction, man.
That's right.
Okay, so it's important to adhere unto these words, man, because as the brother said in Ezekiel 33, that can apply to us as well, man. And you got certain guys that fell out because they didn't want to adhere to the wise counsel that the Lord had given in the form of different brothers communicating with you.
Right.
There's guys that have fell out by that because they're right in their own eyes, man. Okay? They ain't looking to the right number. They ain't being circumspect. Part about being circumspect is looking at your inward flaws and looking at yourself as well, man.
That's right.
And being able to see the things that brothers might tell you. Kind of.
Slack,
Yeah, kind of. You know, but yeah, pretty much, you know, that goes into being circumspect as well, making sure that just as you're looking all around the place, you have to look at yourself too. Because that's where that self-examination kicks in. Part of that being that watchman is making sure you doing your duties right to be able to be that diligent watchman. All right, I almost said the name in the Hebrew, but it don't even matter. Yeah. But be that diligent watchman unto the Most High. You know?
That's right. Just back in Ezekiel chapter 33. Let's see. Verse 6. That's our verse 5 again. He heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning. His blood shall be upon him. But he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. But if the watchman see the sword come, and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity. But his blood will I require at the watchman's hand.
Settle on their own leads, man. All right. He said he has punishment reserved to those that are settled on their leads. Gonna be taken within that sword. If you ain't telling the world a sword coming, it's gonna come and it's gonna take you with it. Ain't supposed to hold that back. That's called burying those talents too. That's an example. That's an example of burying that talent. Okay, we keep using this man as an example. You got General Yohana. Okay, he said, hey, the brother Gabar Yahweh out there in Hawaii got a beautiful lesson going into that demon that's out there in ISUPK. That dude's calling us conspiracy theorists, saying that, you know, we don't know anything. We're just conspiracy theorists. Don't worry about a chip. Don't worry about a vaccination. And then you remember Nate. You remember Nate, he said this a few years ago, man. He said, Daniel, the 12th chapter, that's talking about when the nukes come, we already going to be delivered. Right. He's saying that ain't going to apply to us. That time that's coming, he said we're going to be good in that day. So when that stuff ends up happening and your ass is still here, you ain't going to know what the hell to do, man.
Right.
You know, he ain't gonna know what the hell to do in that day. For those guys that are in these other camps, man, hey, it behoove you, and we always say this, behoove you to get up out of there before it's too late, man. Behoove you to get up out of there before it's too late, because those guys are going to lead you to your death and destruction. And the scriptures say that, you know, the blind lead the blind. You know what I'm saying? And all of them going to fall into a ditch. That has to be fulfilled, man. Somebody has to play that role of that person that's set up on their leads to lead people into a ditch, to lead people to the sword, to lead people to death. Okay? Because Yahweh spoke it. The scripture said it.
That's right.
You know?
I had a precept for you. Mentioning saying, guys, we're going to be delivered. We're going to be good. And don't worry about it. Jeremiah 14 and 13, verses 13 and 14. Then said I, our Lord power, behold, the prophets say unto them, ye shall not see the sword, neither shall ye have famine, but I will give you assured peace in this place. Then the Lord said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto a false vision and divination, and the thing of naught, and the deceit of their heart.
And when you hear peace and safety, that only ain't going to come from those generals and those military officials that's on the news, man. You got men that are out there that claim to be Israelites and claim to be in the truth that'll give you visions of peace and safety that you read right here. Mm-hmm. But then that destruction's going to come. Okay? General Yohana said, these guys talking about vaccines and the chip and this, that, and the third, pretty much getting this congregation not to worry about it. But you obviously see what these people are planning on doing with this blockchain technology, man. Mm-hmm. They already making a digital currency right now, and best believe this is leadway for a chip, man.
Right.
Where they can actually have a vaccination and your location put inside of you, man, and a currency. Yeah, this devil's very well capable of doing this. Yeah. Very well capable, man.
Yeah, and everything is leading, like the brother say, everything is leading towards this technology. This is too big not to be in the scriptures, man.
Right.
This is going to change how people buy and sell. Mm-hmm. This is going to change people's lives, man. You don't think that's prophesied in the Bible?
Right.
You know? But hey, like the brother said, everyone has a role to play. Mm-hmm. Everyone there's certain guys that are allowed to fill that scripture, man.
Yep.
You know? And then that's these other leaders that are telling you not to take that. Don't worry about it. Go and take the chip. Vaccinate your kids. Man, why would you do that?
Right.
Let's say for what the sake of argument that is not, that doesn't have anything to do with anything. This is still the devil at the end of the day.
Right.
Why would you let this devil put something in you, man? If you know the white man is the devil, if you know the white man is Esau, if you know he's the enemy, why would you have the enemy inject things in you, man?
You're supposed to know his track record, nigga.
You know? I'm talking about, I don't trust this nigga. That's
right.
What Scripture said. Never trust thine enemy. But he's trying to get us to trust him, to let him vaccinate us.
That's right.
Let him stick all it. And then when you look up the vaccine, you're like, bro,
there's some crazy shit in that coronavirus vaccine.
Yeah,
bro.
WTF, like what the F, man?
Yeah.
You know? Just for the sake of that, even if it didn't have anything to do with the chip. But we know through the Spirit it does, because it's been revealed unto us, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's right, man.
It shows you guys are false prophets. Mm-hmm. Okay? But it's back in Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 7. So thou, son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me.
And this word that we ultimately have comes from the mouth of the Heavenly Father. Okay? This is the word of God, as you people say. Mm-hmm. So these people get it twisted and think that we're just giving us vain opinions from our own heart. We coming straight from the source, man. This is the source. There's a very gloomy future prepared for America, man. And we're out here telling you. You read it in Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. It says, before the fall, loosely paraphrasing, before the fall of every great kingdom and every great country, he always sets his prophets up to let them know that a sword, pestilence, and destruction is coming. And we're here to tell you. Why do you think all this stuff is taking place? Hello? We've been out here telling you for the longest. And now it's time for it to actually happen and take place. These are the words of the Heavenly Father, man. All right, and the Lord has also given us visions to see these things too. Mm-hmm. And you read it, man, there's stories of this stuff taking place. So I get it, bro. But history repeats itself. So if it happened before, no shit is going to happen again. We ain't in the kingdom of heaven yet. So it's bound, all these things that happen in history have to happen again. The same way those ancient nations went out has to happen again until the kingdom of heaven. Like you got a precept too. And we can end it off in that Isaiah.
Oh, that's actually what I had, the Isaiah. That was also in it off with.
Okay, come on. We can end it off on that one.
Okay, come on. This is Isaiah chapter 62, verse 6. I have set a watchman upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night.
Non-stop, man. Just like the Lord had told Isaiah, man. All right. Matter of fact, I got this quick precept brother, in Isaiah the 6th chapter, because it said they shall never hold their peace day and night. Man, you got lessons coming out at late as hell. Like the Lord literally has it where brothers are scattered all over the world, and there's different time frames. You know, so brother in London might be doing a lesson. He might be doing a lesson that over here it might be 12 o'clock in the morning, but over there it's about what 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna wake up and get this food. You're gonna go to sleep and get this food. You look at YouTube when you see those alerts nonstop all day. If you subscribe to pages, it's gonna be alerts popping off across your screen all day. Literally.
I be in the bed maybe 3 or 4 in the morning. You know how sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night because we don't really rest here. Hey, my phone is vibrating in my bed next to me. Then I check it just in case, you know. And what 3 or 4 lessons that popped up from brothers in Germany, like the brothers say, brothers in England, Holland, you know, Jamaica.
Yep.
You know, lessons are popping up constantly, 24 hours a day. Lessons, YouTube. I'm always getting alerts, you know, from ICAL, from GMS, you know.
That's right. This is quick precept in Isaiah. I'm just going to go straight to verse 11, okay. All right? Because when you read this, the angel's telling Isaiah pretty much to prophesy. And he's saying these people ain't going to hear, their eyes are going to be heavy, their ears are going to be heavy. They ain't going to hear the words that you're saying. So now Isaiah is saying in Isaiah 6:11, then said I, Lord, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land utterly desolate. So pretty much when you read that verse there, he's saying, you know, can you read that again, Salaki?
Isaiah 62:6. I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace.
Never hold their peace. You know, Isaiah asked how long. He's saying you're going to keep on doing this until you see the destruction coming to this place. And we definitely see the destruction right before our eyes happening, man. That's what the family of the Lord is getting ready to, the family of the word is getting ready to take place.
That's right.
Okay?
Hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence, and give him no rest till he until he made Jerusalem a praise in the earth.
Make mention of the Lord, man. That's holy conversation. Mm-hmm. Okay? That's that conversation that we have one toward another, as we explained earlier, where the Lord opens those books up. Okay? He's saying, do this until Jerusalem be made a praise on the earth. Okay? So that means we still got work to do.
That's right.
We still got watching we got to do. We still got praying we got to do, man.
Watching, giving praise, giving warning, all those things, man. Like even amongst our conversation, like the brother's talking about, you know, we talk about the things that's going to come, but we talk about how things are going to be great for us.
That's right. That's right.
As the scriptures say. The scriptures say that there's going to be destruction, trouble, distress, anguish, and fear upon the planet Earth. But then what does he always revert back to? But I'm going to deliver you out of those.
That's right.
That's right. It's going to be good after that. The storm's going to come, but then it's always good after that. But we got to go through the bad first. But we talk about those things. But hey, man, you know, but we talk about things to get each other ready and continue to keep ourselves prepared, have our minds set on it. But we also give comfort to let each other know what the Lord's got us, man. That's along with the flock. Like, hey, man, this is coming. Jacob's trouble is coming. But what does at the end of Jacob's trouble say? He shall be saved out of it. You know, so that's part of being a watchman as well. We tell the people, we warn them, but we also give a comfort to the elect to say, hey, man, we're going to be good, though.
That's right.
Because of what the scriptures say, you know?
That's right, brother. Kind of beautiful way to end it. We'll end it off on that. Hey, Lord willing, this was edifying. We want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash.
Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing and many salutations to you elect Akiam across the four winds of this earth, kicking this word in sincerity and in truth. Shalom.
Shalom.